What is going on, ladies and gents? Once again, Michael or Legacy Kill HD back today with another top video for you. Today we're actually going to be going through the upcoming 30 single-player video games of 2016, 2017, and 2018. So make sure you guys dive into the comment section, let me know what title you're looking forward to the most, and tell me why. Now let's begin at the 30 spot with Watch Dogs 2. It's an open-world action-adventure third-person shooter stealth video game. It's been confirmed for release at the end of Ubisoft's 2017 fiscal year, which is between April 2016 and March 2017. Right now, rumors suggest that we will be getting this in holiday of 2016 because we won't be getting an Assassin's Creed game, so this will make up for it. And there is a big rumor also floating around right now that we will be no longer following Aiden's story. We will be following a new character, which in a lot of senses I actually kind of like, just because I feel like Aiden lacked in a lot of ways in the original title. I had Watch Dogs, the original game period, was a game that I felt fell short in a lot of ways, so I really do want to see what Ubisoft builds upon this, and hopefully they get it right this time. But to the 29th spot we have For Honor. It's a non-fantasy hack and slash video game set during the medieval period. Players can play as a character from 3 different factions, namely the Legion, the Chosen, and the Warborn. The 3 factions represent knights, samurai, and Vikings respectively. It does have a single player campaign, and I'm just hoping it's not a side note, and I get that the game's really going to be focused on the multiplayer, but I hope that the single player doesn't let down. I'm just hoping that it has a true campaign to it, nothing like a couple hours, kind of like a Call of Duty or Battlefield experience. But this is Ubisoft, so hopefully we do get something good, but I guess we'll just have to wait until E3 to find out some more information about this. But anyway, guys, let's move on to our number 28 spot with Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's a role-playing game for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. It will be a single-player experience with branching quest lines in a highly interactive world, encouraging emergent gameplay. It's going to be period accurate with help of historians that I guess are backing up this whole story and the setting. It's set in the medieval Kingdom of Bohemia, an imperial state of the Holy Roman Empire, with a focus, like I said before, on historically accurate and realistic content. Kingdom Come Deliverance was actually recently delayed till sometime in 2017, which does get me worried. There were certain aspects of the trailers that didn't look very good, just kind of like the voice acting and some of the gameplay, but hopefully this will give them time to get the things straight. I know that War Horse Studios, which are the developers of this, are working alongside with Star Citizen, getting, they're brainstorming to help each other out, which is something that I really do like. So hopefully they'll get things straight, and hopefully we'll get a good release when it does come out in sometime 2017. But now down to the 27th spot, which I know I'll get a little criticism for, but Assassin's Creed Empire. The big thing about Assassin's Creed was it was a great franchise when it first came out. I think they had some of the greatest games. After Black Flag, I really just stopped playing the games, but the news that they are taking their time on some of these newer games is what I like. It said that this will be releasing in 2017, but they're going to be taking place in ancient Egypt, and Ubisoft actually did state that they were reevaluating the franchise after Unity came out, and that's obviously because of poor sales. And the big thing about the Assassin's Creed franchise was I loved the story. It was so intriguing, but it just kind of went down a dark road, which I really didn't like. But hopefully they'll get back to where they were years ago, and hopefully they'll figure out the right path that they need to go down, because right now they're falling apart, kind of like how some of these other, I guess, more mainstream franchises are. But to the number 26 spot, we have Batman by Telltale Games. It's going to be a fresh interpretation of the universe set in current times, not tied to any existing iteration of Batman in games, film, or comics. The game will feature a similar branching narrative as other past Telltale games, giving the player options for how to approach a situation and having that choice affect later events. According to Kevin Bruner, the game will present situations to the player where they may choose to approach as Bruce Wayne or as Batman. The release date is said to be Q2 or Q3 of 2016, and honestly, guys, I'm pretty pumped for this just because it's a Batman title and it's by Telltale Games, which really do make some of the best stories. But to the number 25 spot, we have Civilization 6. It's going to be a turn-based strategy video game in which one or more players complete alongside computer-controlled AI opponents to grow their individual civilization from a small tribe to control the entire planet. It will be improving upon what made Civilization 5 great, and it will be releasing October 21st, 2016. And so far what we've seen, all the gameplay and all the little pieces, I love strategy games like this, and I really did like the 5th game, and so far it just looks amazing. I love what they're building upon, and I'm really pumped to see what they have next for Civilization. Now let's move to the number 24 spot with Horizon Zero Dawn. It's going to be an action role-playing video game in development for PS4 only. It's made by the Killzone developers, and it does look very intriguing. The players will be taking control of Aloy, a hunter and archer, as she progresses through a post-apocalyptic land ruled by mechanized creatures such as robotic dinosaurs. The game is set 1,000 years in a future in which humanity has long abandoned Earth due to the world being dominated by robots. robotic creatures. So far what we've seen it's been a lot of gameplay. I do like the little interesting type of fact that we're getting dinosaurs, but they're actually robots now. It's just an intriguing concept that I really didn't think we would ever get, and I just love the idea, and I really do like the execution that we've seen so far. I'm really interested to see what type of story this is, if we're going to be diving into these dinosaurs, robotic dinosaurs origins, and figure out what happened, I guess, maybe back into the past and how they came to be. But now down to the number 23 spot, we have Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. I talked about this a little earlier, one of my favorite PC-only games. The game is set 200 years before Mount & Blade Warband. It takes place during the decline of the Calradian Empire and the formation of the kingdoms that appear in the previous games. The Calradian Empire and its downfall is a different version pretty much of the Roman Empire's fall and the formation of the early European kingdoms. And it's set to be playable by the end of 2016, and they will be going to E3 Tale Worlds. I hope that they show off some of the more of the story and tell us if this game is going to be a little bit more story based. I love the strategy element and the freedom to make whatever choices we want, but I hope that they do add a little bit more of the story, because I felt like that was what lacked in the previous installments, and I'm glad that they're going to be improving a lot on the gameplay, the siege mode mainly, which I really felt like lacked in Warband, and I'm glad that they're taking that as a center hold issue. But so far guys, what I've seen, what I've heard about Mount & Blade Bannerlord, I'm pretty pumped for it, and let me know in the comment section if you guys are looking forward to this. This is a PC game that you really should be looking at, because it is a lot of fun. At the 22nd spot, we have Detroit Become Human. It will be following the story of Kara, who is a freshly produced android with artificial consciousness, discovering how it is to live among humans in Detroit. She struggles to find her place as a free android in a world where androids are still without consciousness and considered as practical tools to improve the comfort of humans. And it will be a PS4 only, and I'm guessing that at E3 we will be getting a lot more details and a lot more gameplay, because we got that amazing teaser, and it really does set up for it to be a great game. And I'm not sure exactly what type of story it will be about, but I hope it does follow like what she's going to be doing for the other androids, maybe giving them consciousness and maybe helping them, or maybe helping herself figure out what it is to be a human. Now let's move to that 21 spot with Shenmue 3. It's an action-adventure open-world video game for PS4 and PC, releasing in December of 2017. It will be following the story of the teenage martial artist Ryo Hazuki, who has journeyed from Japan to the mountains of China in search of his father's killer, where he meets Ling Shenhua, a mysterious girl who previously appeared in his dreams. After learning the legend of her village, which foretells a united path between them, they embark on a new journey which will reveal their shared destiny. It's crazy to think that it's been 15 years since Shenmue 2, and so far we've seen very little of Shenmue 3. We saw a couple of screenshots, we've seen a little bit of the open world, but it looks like it's going to be interesting to explore. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't really see that we're going to be getting an open world type of game, and so far it looks like they're in their early stages. I know the story just got finalized, but it's going to be interesting how they'll conclude this story and what type of open world that they'll build. But I'm just glad that we're actually getting a Shenmue 3, a game that a lot of people didn't know 100% if we were actually going to get. The 20th spot, we have Darksiders 3. It's being developed by Nordic Games, who took over the franchise after THQ went bankrupt. In February of 2016, it was officially confirmed that Darksiders 3 was in the works, but no one knows when the release date is or what the story will focus on yet. We've played as Death and War, and we're probably going to be going through Strife and Fury and their story, as they are the last two horsemen that we haven't explored yet, but maybe we'll get all four of them. That would be a lot of fun. I just want to see what Nordic Games has in store, just because when a new developer takes over, it really does get me worried. I really do want to see what this is, the next step in this franchise, as I really did like the first and the second game. To the 19th spot with Scalebound. It's an action role-playing video game for Xbox One, set to release sometime in 2017. As it was delayed, it was actually supposed to come out this year, 2016, but the players assume control of Drew, who's accompanied by a dragon called Thuban. Players can use a variety of weapons to defeat enemies and may issue commands to the dragon, which assists players during battles. The concept of having a dragon over your shoulder as you battle enemies or monsters is pretty badass, and so far what we have seen is Scalebound. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to explore and play with our character, and possibly Thuban, depending on what type of open world we do get. But having this game delayed till 2017, I'm not sure what that reason is for. I hope it's just for polishing or adding extra content, and not just because the game is a mess, but we'll just have to see what we have in store with Scalebound. At the 18th spot, we have Gears of War 4. It's going to be a third-person shooter video game for Xbox One only. It will take place 25 years after the Emulsion countermeasure weapon destroyed the Locust, Lambent, and Emulsion off the planet of Sarah. Unfortunately, fossil fuels were lost, which caused survival to change. Only hundreds of thousands of humans are left. The game focuses on JD Phoenix, the son of Marcus Phoenix, as he battles a new threat to humanity's survival. There will be a new developer, the Coalition, and it will be releasing October 11th, 2016. This goes back to what I was actually saying about Darksiders. I really do get worried about a new developer, and what we've seen so far gameplay-wise, it does get me really worried. I just don't know necessarily if this is one of those things where you just release a game because it's already a known franchise. I know that obviously they're going to be trying to make a great game, but I just don't feel like this was necessarily needed. I get that a lot of people are probably going to be pumped for Gears of War 4, but when it comes out, I just don't want it to be a half-assed piece of shit. I mean, it's the honest truth, and I hope that the Coalition does bring us something that's different, but something that's also familiar. Maybe my skepticism is unneeded, but after seeing what happened to the Halo franchise after Bungie left, it does get me worried about any new developer coming in after maybe a trilogy has been finished. But we'll just have to see, I guess. Maybe at E3 they impress everybody with a really good gameplay, story, trailer. At the 17th spot we have Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It's an open-world action-adventure platform video game for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It will be a reboot of 2008's Mirror's Edge and will revolve around Faith's origin and her attempt to overthrow controlling corporations who rule the City of Glass. Players will be traversing through the city using aspects of urban exploration and parkour movements to complete missions and evade enemies or knock them off their feet. This game will be developed by DICE. No developers from the original project are returning, so that is interesting that this is literally completely new. It definitely is a reboot. It's not like we're having half the development team in production. They know what they're doing. They know who Faith Connors is, and this is a new team. But the new take that we have seen through gameplay, it does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. The story does look intriguing. And I mean, I just hope it has hours on fun, but so far, so good. At the 16th spot, we have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's an open-world tactical shooter video game in development by Ubisoft Paris. Ubisoft actually says it will be one of the biggest open-world games that they have ever published. The game will be playable on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. The game is set in Bolivia, which in the game is the largest supplier of drugs like cocaine. These supplies are controlled by the Santa Blanca Drug Cartel, a powerful organization whose influence has destabilized the region. The rise in power of these drug cartels concerns the USA as they've become a world threat. As a result, the United States Army dispatches an elite special operations unit called the Ghost to destroy and reveal the evil connection between the drug cartel and the local government. So far, with all the gameplay and all the story details that we've gotten, it looks like it's going to be a blast to play. I just really do wonder if this is going to be aimed more like a multiplayer game. I talked about this before. It does have that Arma feeling to it, and it feels like it would be better having other, I guess, players around you. And I get that there's not going to be NPCs or that many in a lot of this environment, as I guess it's going to be built upon having other players. But if there is a single player campaign, it's going to be interesting seeing how this environment works with us. So hopefully it's not boring just having to drive through or I guess run around. I just want something that's necessarily full for an experience as just a lone gamer. At the 15th spot we have Deus Ex Mankind Divided. It's a cyberpunk themed action role-playing video game combining first-person shooter, stealth, and role-playing elements. It's going to be releasing August 23rd, 2016 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's set in the year 2029, 2 years after the events of Human Revolution. The player character is Adam Jensen, an augmented former private security officer now working with Interpol to capture a terrorist group of augmented humans. Jensen secretly works for the Juggernaut Collective, a hacker group helping him to confront the Illuminati. So far what we've seen of this through gameplay and trailers, it looks beautiful, it has a great unique story, and I just recently came into this franchise, but what I've seen, it's a setting that works, it's something, it makes sense basically. A lot of these games seem to just jump forward for no reason at all, kind of like the Call of Duty franchises, but you can make an argument there. But either way, what I've seen of Mankind Divided, I'm pretty pumped for it. I've just, like I said, recently gotten to the franchise of playing some of the past games, and it looks like an interesting plot, and I'm really down to see what to offer in this next title. At the 14th spot, we have Final Fantasy 15. It's an action role-playing video game being developed and published by Square Enix for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The characters have the ability to traverse environments in a free-running style, which also extends to battle with larger enemies. It's been in development since 2006, but 10 years later, we're finally getting a release on September 30th, 2016. Final Fantasy 15 begins as an armistice is declared between Lucian Lucius and Niflheim, ending the Cold War that has raged over the possession of the world's last crystal. A peace treaty is finally drawn up, and as part of the agreements, Prince Noctis is to marry the Lady Lunafreya of Tenebrae. After Noctis leaves of the day the official treaty is to be signed, Niflheim invades Lucius and takes the nation's last crystal for its own before launching attacks on Solheim, Tenebrae, and Accordo. Noctis and his friends now journey to retrieve their kingdom's crystal and defeat Niflheim's forces. So far, what we have seen of Final Fantasy 15, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun finally getting this title, and it's going to be fun exploring this little open world that they have created. At the 13th spot, we have Star Citizen, specifically Squadron 42, which is the single-player campaign. The storyline will be centering on an elite military unit and involves the player character enlisting in the United Empire of Earth Navy, taking part in a campaign that starts with a large space battle. Squadron 42 is planned to be released in multiple chapters, the first of which will be released sometime in 2016 to eligible backers, followed by Episode 2, Behind Enemy Lines, and Episode 3 later on. Squadron 42 will include Hollywood talent playing characters. Some are Gary Oldman, Mark Hamill, Mark Strong, Gillian Anderson, Andy Serkis, and many more. Star Citizen as a whole is packed, and just seeing the trailers that I've seen of Star Citizen, it just looks fabulous. It looks like it's going to be an amazing title, and Squadron 42 is pretty much just the icing on the cake. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what type of story that Chris Roberts and his development team have built for us. Now down to that number 12 spot with Dishonored 2, which is a single-player action-adventure stealth role-playing video game for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It will be taking place 15 years after the Dunwall Plague. The Empire begins to plunge into chaos after Empress Emily Kaldwin is suddenly dethroned and becomes an outlaw to society. Determined to claim it back, Emily follows the steps of her royal protector, Corvo Attano, obviously the main character of Dishonored 1, and becoming an assassin. Armed with the Outsider's mark, she intends to reclaim her title and restore power to what has been lost. It will be releasing later on here in 2016. So far what we've seen of Dishonored 2, just a little bit glimpse. I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more at E3, but it looks pretty awesome. I mean, I love the first one. I felt like the gameplay could be improved, and I hope that the story's a little bit longer. I like a game where you can play for a long time, or you can play over and over again, playing in different types of ways. That's what I hope for this next installment. Now let's get down to that number 11 spot with Mass Effect Andromeda. It's an action role-playing third-person shooter video game for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. A multiplayer component has been confirmed, and it will be taking place long after the original series with new characters, new enemies, pretty much new everything. But it was recently delayed till early 2017. The one thing we do know that is returning is the Mako, a six-wheeled vehicle used in the first Mass Effect. And I've said this before, this is going to be a whole new different type of title from BioWare, and it's going to be a different type of Mass Effect. I just hope they stay with the role-playing element, and I hope that we do have a non-linear type of story with different ways that we can play this. That's why it goes back to Dishonored, where I like longevity. I like to play a game over and over again, play it in different ways. But either way, Mass Effect Andromeda's got to be on everybody's list, as this is going to be one of the biggest titles coming out in 2017. Now into the 10th spot, we have Mafia 3. It's an action-adventure video game for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's set in 1968 in the city of New Bordeaux. The story revolves around Lincoln Clay, an orphan and a Vietnam veteran who is on a quest to build a new crime organization to confront the Italian mob, which kills the whole black mob. Clay is saved by a priest and attempts to start his own criminal organization to get revenge. He's aided by 3 allies, which include Cassandra, Burke, and Vito Scaletta, obviously the main character of Mafia 2. It will be releasing October 7th, 2016. So far, what we have seen of Mafia 3 looks amazing. I mean, for Mafia 2, I was really worried about what Mafia 3 would be like. My main thing, I think I said this in a couple of my other top videos, was that Mafia 2 was linear. You really just couldn't go around the open world. You couldn't visit whatever there was to see, and I really thought they could have added a lot more content. I feel like, in a way, I wish it was more like a Grand Theft Auto type of game, or even a Rockstar title to begin with. I'm just ready to explore New Bordeaux and figure out what it has to offer. If there's going to be side quests or car racing, gambling, if we're going to be able to actually build like a crime organization around us. I mean, there's so many innovative things that Mafia 3 can offer, and I'm just ready to dive right into it. To the 9th spot, we have The Walking Dead Season 3. This season will be taking place a few years after the second season and will include a somewhat older Clementine. Though Kirkman did not affirm if she will be the playable character, it will be releasing in later of 2016. We'll probably be getting a lot more details at E3, as they have said that they will be announcing more information after the Michonne miniseries is finished. I do wonder what they will build upon. I didn't really care about the second season. The first season was just absolutely amazing. Maybe it was because of the fact that the second season was centered around Clementine and the fact of following a little kid and a lot of characters not really considering her opinion. Maybe that was the setback, but this time around, maybe she's a little older. If we do follow her, maybe they'll actually care about her a little bit more, or maybe we'll be just going down a different road where we're following a different character and she's more of just somebody who we run into. Either way, guys, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? Do you want to see Clementine again, or do you think it's smarter to go down a different road with a different character, maybe like a Kenny type? At the 8th spot, we have Borderlands 3. It was confirmed in April of 2016 to be in its early stages. Gearbox just recently released Battleborn, which really didn't do as good as how they hoped with sales and reviews. Hopefully that does mean that Gearbox takes their time and delivers another Game of the Year title with Borderlands 3. It's a very unique FPS game franchise which has an open world that is really fun to explore. I think most of us can agree that everyone will be watching to see what Gearbox has next for us in the Borderlands series. At the 7th spot, we have Bioshock 4. The series developer Irrational Games shut down last year. 2K Marine has taken over and are producing a new Bioshock game. 2K Marine and 2K Australia developed Bioshock 2, so they do understand the franchise. They're not new, but although Bioshock 2 was the least favored Bioshock game in the franchise, but in all honesty, I'm ready for another Bioshock game. I'm glad that they are moving forward, although that Irrational Games won't be at the helm. It will be interesting seeing what type of game we will be getting. Rumors do suggest that we will be getting a game in space, which is interesting. It's a different type of setting I didn't really expect, but hey, if they can make it work, I'm down for it. I'm just really wondering what type of story it could center around. And I think I speak for most Bioshock fans when I say I'm ready for another Bioshock game. Now to the number 6 spot, we have Left 4 Dead 3. It's rumored to be coming in 2017 following 4 new survivors: Catherine, Gangster Irvine, comic book nerd Keenan, and famous Kenpo fighter Garrett Jr. Also, there's 6 separate campaigns to play on Left 4 Dead 3 that have been rumored, including No Mercy, Cliffhanger, Early Destination, Crashland, Impasse, and Inquisitorland. It is said to be Valve's main gaming priority, and in all honesty, I just want to see a third game from Valve. Make that happen, Gabe. If that means Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Team Fortress 3, or Left 4 Dead 3, sign me up. I've just been waiting years to see what is next in these franchises. And honestly, Valve, all they have to do is walk into E3, drop the logos of their next games, and walk out. Boom, there you go, they just won E3. But either way, if these rumors are true, I'm pretty pumped to see what is next for Left 4 Dead. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what are you looking forward to the most? Which Valve title do you want to see the most? At the 5 spot, we have The Last of Us 2. Not much is known yet, but it is in its early stages as Naughty Dog just finished the masterpiece of Uncharted 4, which was probably one of the greatest games I've ever played in the last couple of years. Just a remarkable story and a great way to go out with the franchise. But now we move on to what is next for Naughty Dog. So far we've heard that they are brainstorming ideas of a story with new characters, including Joel and Ellie. And honestly, guys, no matter what Naughty Dog delivers, it's going to be amazing. And I'm just really pumped up for what is next for this Last of Us franchise moving forward. And after seeing what they did with Uncharted, there's no question in my mind that this has got to be on everybody's list, probably for Game of the Year whenever it does come out. But either way, Naughty Dog is one of those elite developers, and no matter what they deliver, it seems to be always golden. Now to the number 4 spot, we have No Man's Sky. It's going to be an adventure survival video game for PS4 and PC, and it does have potential to redefine the video game genre. No Man's Sky's gameplay is built on 4 pillars: exploration, survival, combat, and trading. The goal is to make it to the center of the universe. Pretty much, guys, you make your own story and your progress throughout the universe, making it to the center, going through planet to planet. And the release date has been recently delayed, which does get a lot of people scared, but fortunately for us, it has been said it's only going to be a month or 2, so don't sweat it too much, guys. Hopefully it's just for polishing reasons, and hopefully not just because the game's a mess, which I know a lot of people have been out there criticizing it, saying this game's going to be a flop, but in all honesty, what I've seen of it, it looks amazing, and I'm really pumped for it. Now down to our top 3. Here at the 3 spot, we have Red Dead 3. It was recently leaked with in-game map details showing the game will be a prequel with the ability to swim, and the game will be much larger compared to Red Dead Redemption. Tech Radar revealed that a source close to them confirmed that this leaked map was legitimate. It's expected to be announced at E3 and released in early 2017, as a recent investors call stated a new Rockstar game wouldn't be released till at least April 2017. Either way, guys, I'm just ready to dive into another Rockstar Games experience. It's been a while. We've had GTA 5 out for a while, and now everybody's ready to move on to something new. It will be interesting if they do have an online mode, as GTA Online has been humongous, and I could see them making a Western type of thing, being something that could be a lot bigger. But this game being set in the past is probably the smart decision, as this is a Western, and moving any bit forward would be pretty much heading into a different type of setting. I think I speak for most when I say I'm ready to see what is next from Rockstar Games. Now guys, let's get to our final two titles. Here at the 2 spot, we have The Elder Scrolls 6. Bethesda Game Studios is currently working on 3 unknown projects. They're all said to be in early production. They recently opened a studio in Montreal, which is said to be used for mobile games and other things. Literally, the word other things has been used. And there has been some rumors suggesting a Valenwood and Elsewhere setting, but there have also been some other rumors suggesting we could be getting Black Marsh. Either way, guys, I'm ready to dive into another Elder Scrolls games. Elder Scrolls Online, obviously not made by Bethesda Game Studios, something that I guess maybe they thought that could help us carry over the weight, but either way, we're probably not going to be seeing this till at least later of 2018, but I'm ready to wait it out and get hyped for this. I made a couple of other videos about this, so if you guys are interested in figuring out what the plot could be, check out some of my videos. I'll throw them on the screen, but either way, I'd like to see a Dwemer's return. I think that'd be pretty interesting. Maybe we get Jiggleleg back into the next game, and just maybe the center plot could be an Elmiri Dominion versus the Empire plot, which would be a lot of fun as they've hinted to it a lot in Skyrim. Now guys, Bethesda Game Studios has stated that their future titles will be a lot different. What that means is maybe we'll be getting a new engine. There's just so much room for improvement that Bethesda Game Studios could make, and I really am looking forward to seeing what Elder Scrolls 6 will be. Now to the number 1 spot, Cyberpunk 2077. It's planned to be an action role-playing video game by the developers of The Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red. The game aims to be mature and ambitious, with character customization being strongly tied to the plot. Reports state the studio began production recently in 2016, and they aim to release the game hopefully in sometime in 2017 or 2018, as the game has not been easy to develop with changes in hardware. The Witcher 3 was probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. It was just a phenomenal experience. Everything about it was amazing. I love the story, I love the gameplay, I love the character development, I love the different twists that they involved into the game, and I hope that they carry it over to Cyberpunk 2077. I know that they're trying something new, and I know that there has been some word about Witcher 4, and that we probably will never get it, which one of the developers said, which was a really big sad face in my mind, but either way, seeing what they have moving forward will be very intriguing. Everything that I've read and seen so far about Cyberpunk 2077 leads me to think this is going to be one of the best games coming out, and this really just got to be on everybody's top list, just because it's a different type of thing from CD Projekt Red, but it has the same aspects that made The Witcher 3 amazing. Anyway guys, let me know in the comment section what title you're looking forward to the most and why. I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you smack that like button if you did enjoy, and hit that subscribe button if you're interested in more content like this, and make sure you guys get interactive in the comments with me. Let's talk about some of these upcoming titles, and make sure you guys follow me on social media. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.